We're happy that you are joining us, and we look forward to showing you the highest quality artwork in the television market today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Fine Art Auction. But first, the rules. All bidders must be registered, and if you're going to bid, make sure you know all the rules. First of all, there is a 10% buyer's premium added to each winning bid. Bidders will be responsible for shipping. All works are guaranteed to be as described, or you don't own it, and you may return it to us for a full and prompt refund. If for any other reason you decide to return your purchase, you may do so for up to 7 days after receipt. But in this case, the buyer's premium and shipping are non-refundable. It is mandatory that you obtain a RMA number for all returns. To obtain this number, simply call customer service during normal business hours. All artwork must be received back to us in exactly the same condition as when it was shipped. Please visit the shopabc.com website for a full list of terms and conditions that apply to all of our auctions. And now, from our studios in Atlanta, it's the Fine Art Auction. We've got works from the masters, the latest up-and-coming street art, and Richard's featured work. From Atlanta to Los Angeles to New York, it's the Fine Art Auction, live!
Good morning and welcome. Hope you enjoyed that fantastic golf tournament, ladies and gentlemen. And we're starting a little bit later because of it, but wasn't it great to see? So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get underway with our usual The Fine Art Auction, coming to you live from our studios here in Atlanta, Georgia, as you can guess by my accent. My name is Richard English. If you've never seen the show before, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fine Art Auction. It's been running on TV in America for about 20 years. I myself have been here about 7 years now conducting the show, and we will be joined from our London studios by our art expert, the wonderful Lucy Cowley. So she'll be joining us in a few moments. Let me give you a quick rundown of what's in the show. Wow, look at these pieces. Look at this tremendous original. This is an original charcoal drawing, and it is by an artist called Mad Charcoal. We then have this fantastic sculpture coming in the auction by a world-famous Colombian artist. He's no longer with us, but his name, many of you will know his name, Fernando Botero. World-famous, and that is a solid bronze sculpture. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Then these two works of art, as you can see, very, very similar. They are by our German art star, Kef, and he comes all the way from Berlin. He's actually on tour in Asia at the moment, so we wish him safe travels and fantastic success with his clients and his tour over in the Far East. So, ladies and gentlemen, some great pieces coming in your show today, and we're going to kick off in a moment with a work of art by the most famous artist of our time. There's no doubt about it. He's the #1 selling artist in the world today, and the work of art we will be offering as the first piece is by the notorious Banksy. So we've got a great piece coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen, and it's called Hula Girl, a very, very famous piece by Banksy. So we're going to give you an opportunity there. We then have the Jeff Koons sculptures, a beautiful sculpture of his world record setting rabbit sculpture, and the balloon sculptures are world famous by Jeff Koons. So this is a Jeff Koons design, and that will be coming in next. Directly after that, we're very fortunate to have an amazing piece by Andy Warhol, and so we'll be bringing that work of art into the auction later and look forward to offering you that piece. Then we have Farrah Fortnum. Farrah Fortnum is a British art star. She's achieved worldwide fame and acclaim now, doing very, very well, and she was discovered in recent years in the UK, based in Bristol, the same city as Banksy. Then we have the Fernando Botero sculpture, the Mad Charcoal original, and then later on we're going to round off the show with this beautiful original painting by Kev and his style. Once you see his work, together with a lot of these artists, once you see their work, you never really have to look for their signature again because they are so unique, you know immediately, that's a Kev. That's a Mad Charcoal. That's a Fernando Botero. So that's the beauty of the show, ladies and gentlemen. You're not only here for an auction, and yes, it is a live auction. We do ask you to call in. If you've not done this before, my tip for you is you will be shocked by some of the pricing today. And what I would tell you is call in now, anytime you like, get yourself registered. It takes about 30 seconds to a minute of your time, but once you've done it, you can hang up and then you can sit back, listen to Lucy, enjoy the show, learn about the artists, and then you see something you really love, pick up the phone and you're ready to bid. Not just today, but any time in the future. You only have to do it once. So that's my recommendation, ladies and gentlemen. And then everything comes framed for you. Everything comes certified. It goes through our research department before it ever comes in front of me. So it's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get on with the show. Let's have a look at the first piece. It's a preview, actually, of tomorrow. Preview for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. This piece, John, was hanging at the United Nations, John. It was hanging at the United Nations, and I'd like you to tell me a little bit about it for the ladies and gentlemen, please.
Yeah, there was an exhibition at the UN a couple years back, and they wanted Bambi. She was there. She's a great voice for women and women's suffrage. Of course, what you're seeing here was presented at that exhibition. Lucy in London has all the good information as well with pictures that she can show us now if we'd like, or
okay.
Would you say tomorrow as well?
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much, John. So this piece was actually hung at the United Nations. I'm going to give you an idea of how major this piece is, John. When I saw it, I thought, wow, I can't believe this is going to be on TV in the auction. I think, ladies and gentlemen, by the way that her artwork is rising and rising in value, I mean, something like this, what could it be worth in the future? I don't have a crystal ball. But, John, these are the type of things which today might be $50,000, $100,000, but in the future, those are the sort of things that can rise, can be $400,000, $500,000, because it is not only a great painting, not only is she the world's #1 female street artist, but, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to large original works, it doesn't get better than this, because this has all the provenance behind it. It was hung in the United Nations building in New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a famous piece. So that's a 4-foot ruler, believe it or not. It's about the size of my mother. And so, ladies and gentlemen, funnily enough, people say to her, how on earth did you ever produce that? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually 58 inches by 58 inches. That's a 4-foot ruler, so well over 4 feet. Fantastic piece. Great work, and that is a world-famous piece. That's coming up for auction tomorrow, and John will be starting roughly the same time, I think, after the golf.
As soon as the golf is over.
As soon as the golf finishes, the show starts, so enjoy the golf tomorrow and then come and join us for an auction. John's going to bring in the first lot, and I'm going to take you over to Lucy for the first pieces. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our lovely Lucy Cowley with Banksy.
Well, no, it's not, is it? It's good evening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the golf. Hope you had a great Saturday, and you are ready to really, I suppose, end your day in style here at the Fine Art Auction. And if you're just joining us, please don't think you need to know anything about art to watch a show. You really don't. That's my big message always. You just need to know what you love. And we definitely have something for everybody. We go back in time to the days of old, we bring you back into the modern day, and to the really serious artists of the modern century, I would say, particularly with Banksy, and then directly behind that, Bambi. I mean, wow. There are plenty of artists in the world, but there's only one Banksy and there's only one Bambi. And, you know, you are seeing them all here in one place. Now, the piece, the Bambi work that we've got tomorrow is very important indeed because of that exhibition history. Not only is she an incredibly well-known artist in her own right and very sought after, that work simply wasn't created just as another image to enter the commercial art market. It was exhibited at the United Nations headquarters in New York City as part of an exhibition celebrating women's rights and female street artists from around the world who have voices, women who have voices and have used their voice for good. So that's the very important message behind it, and it's an original. So everyone, make sure you're registered for that piece. Now, let's get to Banksy. If you have been watching the street art market over the last decade or couple of decades, you'll know that collectors continue to gravitate towards the artists who helped bring urban art into the fine art arena. And that's exactly what Banksy has done. Banksy is street art. Banksy was the artist who changed everything at the beginning of the 2000s. And if we could have a show of hands right now, if I asked you a question, if you could go back in time and acquire a Banksy, would you do it or not? You would say, oh my gosh, yes, because we know that these works sell for absolute millions these days. And that is the beauty of the art world. This is how it works. It's all about the fact that, in particular in the modern day, we're driving the popularity of these artists. But with a name like Banksy, you seriously can't go wrong. And a work like this, and I'm going to show you some comps in just a moment, some pricing of what you would spend in the real world, as I like to call it, is about, you could spend up to $5,000 on this piece. So let's go to my screen. Let's talk about this actual work. This is Hula Girl. It's a very important work, a very iconic piece by him. He created it in 2020 in Nottingham. So, you know, the message here is sort of that wonderful feeling of a child being free, but also using the surrounding area to have some fun, and using as well, which is what he was brilliant at and is brilliant at, using actual props that are there in that environment too. So what happens with Banksy, as soon as he creates a work, he makes headline news. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter what it is, it's going to be headline news. That's why everybody knows who Banksy is. He knows how powerful stencil art is, which is exactly what we've got, obviously. And the girl with Heart Balloon was his iconic work. Now, looking for a work by Banksy, it's, you know, increasingly difficult to find works that are affordable and allow you access into that market. 95,000 here just for an unsigned poster from a cinema, you know. So this is what it's like when you're looking for a Banksy. There is the work that sold for 1.2 million. A year later, it sold for 25.3 million because it's shredded. That's the power of Banksy, and it has a snowball effect. And if you could go back to the year 2004 and acquire a print for $385, I know we wish we could do it, because a few years later it was 23, a few years later it was 82,000, and obviously we know the rest, as they say, is history. Now, here is where it's getting interesting. Before we go back to Richard, there is an auction result for exactly what you're bidding on right now. An exhibition poster, nearly $11,000. Let's go back to Richard. And hello, Richard. How are you?
Hello, Lucy. That's why we pay you the big bucks, because she does all the research, ladies and gentlemen. She's a wonderful source of information, and she's been in the business a long, long time, considering she's only 29. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a wonderful, wonderful piece, and it is by the wonderful Banksy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I put up $100 just to start this. The reason I've done that is because this is not our usual time to start the auction. We normally, believe it or not, start at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and the show is over by 11. So we're not normally on air at this time. So maybe, or maybe not, our regular viewers aren't in attendance. So whoever's watching today, you never know, you could be very, very lucky, and because everything sells to the highest bidder. Now, I've not had a bid so far. I just put it up for $100 to test the market, and no one has called in yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it a 3-minute clock. If there are no offers, I'm going to take it out of the auction. These sell, as Lucy said, you know, there's an auction result there for 8,000 plus. They typically sell in the 5,000 to 6,000 range. They're released by the museum in the UK. These have just arrived from the museum in the UK. Is that correct, John?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, and lovely to see the release. Lot number 1, the very precious pieces, Banksy offset lithograph, and it is Hula Girl, the famous image by Banksy. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an offset lithograph in colour. Don't forget, you get everything framed. Everything comes framed, ladies and gentlemen, and it comes certified. So I'm testing the market to see if anyone's watching. It's from the deluxe edition, and ladies and gentlemen, it's executed for the exhibition at the Palazzo della Cultura in Catania, Sicily, 2021. Looks like someone else is watching now. 150 is the bid, thank you. Extremely rare. So we got 2 of you watching. Ladies and gentlemen, Banksy. Let's have a look at the image. Banksy Warhol, the exhibition, 22nd of November, and that's 2022. This was actually conducted at the Palazzo della Cultura in Catania in Sicily. I've been to Sicily. Great piece. This is the most famous art dealer of Banksy. He helped organize the exhibition. Lovely man. And ladies and gentlemen, these pieces sell in the region typically 5,000 to 6,000, but Lucy just showed you a recent auction result for $8,000 for one of these. Lucy, if you could show us that again. But this is one of his most famous images, released by the museum, the Palazzo della Cultura in Catania. Ladies and gentlemen, bidding is underway. Welcome to the show. Sorry we started a bit later than normal, but wasn't that golf great? So congratulations to the ladies there. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue with Lucy, and I'll give you a fresh 2-minute clock as it's the first one, then we're selling. Here we go.
Yeah, thanks for that 2-minute clock, Richard, because I think people really need to appreciate the opportunity that's here, because Banksy is one of the most influential and valuable artists of our generation. There is no question surrounding that. And he's a global cultural phenomenon. And the thing is, owning anything connected to an artist of this caliber gives you an accessible entry point into one of the strongest art markets in the world. I've shown you those auction results. I also want to show you, here is Hula Girl. And this, at the moment, is for sale at $5,000. So, you know, I know I'd rather be spending $550 right now with us because of our connections to this artist and in the art world, rather than $5,000 tomorrow because I regretted that I didn't go for it. So let's come back to our work. So ladies and gentlemen, it really is that simple. The frame isn't even, I mean, you're not reaching the cost of the frame here. So if I show you those auction results again, that's an also important thing to see. Let's just quickly show those, then I can go back to Richard. So here we have them here. If we can go to my screen, 11,000 there, and the estimate was only $400 to $500, and it achieved that. That means a lot of people wanted it. They know exactly what they're doing, and another one there at nearly $7,000. So let's go back to Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. As you've been a great audience, and there's a couple of you phoning in, I'd like to thank you. We had 3 of these released by the museum, and I'm going to do it at $600. Thank you. I just saw your bid there, Darren. 600 is bid, 600, and I'm selling at 600. I've got 3 available. 3 available red banner, sold at 600 plus the buyer's premium. There we go. Congratulations. Don't forget, it comes framed, it comes certified. Ladies and gentlemen, you got it at 600. All you need to do, call in. I've got 3 available. One's gone. I had 4 in total. One's gone. There are 3 more available. Lucy, what are your thoughts on that? Typically, I would auction this off. I'd expect it to make about $1,500, but I'm doing it as a gesture today. So, ladies and gentlemen, first 3 people to call in. Kim's in charge of the phones, and whoever calls in next gets the other 3 at 600 plus the buyer's premium. Then it's sold out. Thank you. Here's Lucy.
I think we are being nuts doing this, but everyone else, you really need to take advantage of it, because this is not just a decoration. This is a Banksy. It's a statement piece. It's tied to one of the most consequential artists and influential artists working today. You know, everybody will recognise this immediately as a Banksy. It's Hula Girl. It's a very iconic work by him as well. So there are so many things to love, and it's $600. I mean, honestly, I just quite honestly believe that that's a very shrewd acquisition. And as we've seen, his prints today can sell for hundreds of thousands, even millions. So, you know, like I said, don't be one of those people who looks back on this moment and realises what you should have done, but you didn't. Like we did in the early 2000s when we didn't quite understand exactly what was going on because we'd never seen anything like street art before. But there were some people who really could see that this was going to be huge, and it was. They are the ones that won in the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would not be missing out on your opportunity to own a Banksy. And you've seen those auction results. You've seen that this particular piece is actually selling for $5,000 today. So, ladies and gentlemen, you really do need to jump on the phone and get bidding. Let's go to my screen, and we can check out a few more things about Banksy. So, as we know, he goes completely global when anything happens, anything. This is the power of Banksy. Wonderful works that he's done. And I know the reason we all love Banksy is because we instantly understand his works, don't we? And we quite like his humour. You know, he's quite I can never say that word, irreverent, there we go, and a little bit rebellious, and I think it makes us feel slightly rebellious as well. That's what we love about Banksy, and the fact that he is incredibly creative and clever and witty. This was an exhibition, this is the British Museum, and he put in his own work, and they didn't notice for 4 days, which makes me laugh. And this just shows you the power of Banksy as well. I mean, his auction results speak for themselves. 13.9 million there at Sotheby's. This was quite a recent piece. This was last February. And I don't know whether you know, but he actually even has a hotel. It's called the Waldorf Hotel. Again, great humour that he has, and it's full of anything connected to Banksy. So let's come back to our work. Let's talk about reasons why you should not be passing up on this work. I mean, he is an artist who's completely global. He was, as we know, presumably born in Bristol. There are quite a few rumours now about who he is, but nobody has confirmed it. And he is probably the most well-known artist in the world. If you ask anyone to name an artist in the world, they're generally going to say Banksy. And I think that is powerful. You know, his print market alone, now we're talking a print right now, has exploded. You know, it truly has. And we can see a proven track record, a very stable market for anything connected to Banksy. So owning anything connected to this artist, an artist of this caliber, gives you a really great access point, as I've said, into one of the strongest art markets in the entire world. So, you know, the fact is there's this imbalance between high demand and tight supply. This is how the art market works. It's all about limited availability, limited editions, originals, you know, and it's the engine behind the soaring secondary market being the art auction market. So this is an opportunity, everyone, particularly at the buy it now price at $600, to align yourself with a blue chip artist whose trajectory has been consistently upward for 2 decades. We've seen that. It's never, ever done anything but increase. It's really quite incredible what's happened with Banksy. He is more than an artist. He is truly a cultural force. And with that said, over to another force. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much. Come to me, please. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on with the show. And please bring in the Andy Warhol. Thank you. We are going to move on with the show. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're still interested, we've got the 2 available. But we're going to move on with the next lot now. A lot of you are brand new to the show. Thank you for joining us. thank you for registering. It might just take a minute as we process you to get you registered, but that is available at 600 plus the buyer's premium. Very, very low price. As you saw, they can be about 6, 7, 8,000 depending on the image. So, ladies and gentlemen, a great opportunity for you. A lot of you registering. Thank you so much. We're going to go to the next lot now. Let's have a look at this. Now, this is a superb piece. It comes from Andy Warhol. Many of you have heard of him, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the most famous American artist of the 20th century, my opinion. And he resided in New York. I just got back from New York last night and had a fantastic time going all around Manhattan. I took $5, the ferry, all the way around Manhattan. I went to South Street Seaport. Haven't been there since I was 20 years of age. I worked on the old Queen Elizabeth II, and I remember going down there as a 20-year-old and all around Times Square, and it's fantastic to go back to South Street Seaport. So to all our New York viewers, thank you for having me in New York the last few days. But this great piece is by the legendary Andy Warhol. Don't forget, the first piece there is still available at 600 plus the buyer's premium. So if you want it, get yourself registered, and we'll see if there's one available for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move on with this piece. So there's a lot of new registers today because people who haven't seen the show before, because we're normally on air between 8 and 11 on CNBC on Saturday and Sunday morning. So don't forget us in the future. Even if you're going out to play golf yourself, come and join us for an auction, ladies and gentlemen, every Saturday and Sunday on CNBC. Fill in your own signature. This was a joke by Andy Warhol. He wanted that written on the back there, and also published by Sunday Beam Morning. I'm going to give you a fantastic opportunity to bid on this. It was published in Switzerland. The Swiss edition of Andy Warhol was considered, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest undertakings in terms of the print quality of Andy Warhol's work. And so it was done by companies Sunday Beam Morning editions of Switzerland. And ladies and gentlemen, this fantastic image is up for auction now. It's a large piece. It is the iconic and beautiful Marilyn Monroe, one of his most famous images. What I'm going to do is quite, an expensive piece to acquire, but I'm going to give you a low starting bid on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start it at only $500, and I will sell it to the highest bidder. And here to tell you all about it is our lovely Lucy. Lucy, over to you.
I'm really excited about this, and everyone who was bidding just then and then took advantage of the Buy It Now on the Banksy. Congratulations to all of you. We've got you warmed up. Now you know what it's all about and the incredible prices that you're going to get on these works of art. So do take full advantage now. Andy Warhol, again, a huge name. Banksy is the founding father of the street art movement, which was, or rather is, the movement of our generation of this century. Andy Warhol was the founding father of the pop art movement, and the pop art movement was the art genre of art movement of the 20th century. So it's a really important artist. He's a really important artist, and this is a very iconic work of art because this is Marilyn. And, it's an Andy Warhol and it's Marilyn. What's not to love about this work? Now, Andy Warhol, again, we know, and I've just said, huge. And he is responsible for the most expensive painting sold at auction to date. And that was a Marilyn, 195 million. I will show you that in just a moment. And of course, like every artist when he first started out, he was a starving artist, and he was on the cusp of becoming a big artist when he went over to Belgium to see two friends who they got into this academic debate, and he started talking about mass producing artwork and allowing people to sign on the back their own signature, because the debate was about, why is my signature more important than yours? And this is how the Sunday Beam Mornings were born. Now, he went back to his home and he regretted this deal because he'd handed over the original negatives, all of the colour Pantones, all of the screens, and he regretted it. He tried to get out of it, he wasn't allowed to, and so it continued. And this is what we're seeing here. Now, the very important piece of information you need to know is that this is in the official catalogue of Andy Warhol. It has the reference, the same reference as the ones that he created in his own studio. So let's go to my screen and let's try and show you what I'm talking about. So, as we know, huge. I mean, this is an artist whose primary marketplace is the United States. He has taken a lot of money over the years for his works of art, and the iconic works are Marilyn, the soup cans and the flowers. This was the publicity shot for the film Niagara, and as you can see, these are the different colorways, and this is what he was all about, hanging in the Modern Art Museum there in New York City. And I just love that. Now, as we can see, 17 million when this first piece went for auction. A number of years later, 195 million. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? Huge. Now, Sunday B Mornings, which is what we have for you, going through auction, $74,000. You're at 500. Another one here at 31,000. That's without buyer's premium, so much more with buyer's premium. One for sale at the moment, 36,000 euro. You're at 500. These are the same. Sunday B Morning. Very important Sunday B Morning as well. The enigmatic echo of Warhol's legacy, written about in AM New York. And they talk about how he handed over the exact negatives, the exact processes to complete the works of art. So this is a huge opportunity, everyone. And if we come back to our work, when Richard shows you that certificate of authenticity, you will see the reference on it, and that is so important for its provenance and its authenticity, the fact that it is in the catalogue raisonné. So every single artist, every single important artist will have a catalogue raisonné. It's where all of their works are recorded. So if there was any doubt about authenticity, you go to that catalogue raisonné. It's official, and that's where you will obviously find the work of art. And in this case, this is the referenced work. So for me, it truly is an opportunity to own something by an artist and to own a really iconic image. I mean, Marilyn is hugely important. And what's fascinating about Warhol's Marilyn is that he created it just after she'd passed away, when her image was absolutely everywhere. He took the publicity photograph and he repeated it almost like the media does in newspapers and news stories. And he turned her into an icon rather than just a person. That's how powerful his works and this particular piece was. And that's really what this work is all about. The power of fame and how an image can take on a life of its own, which this one did. This is not just Marilyn, it's the idea of fame itself. He didn't just paint Marilyn, he turned her into an icon. And he really just cemented her into our history and into the American history really as well. So there's a lot to love. And then when you look at it and you think to yourself, where is it going to go in my house? You know, where am I going to hang it? Is it going to fit? Is it going to, you know, work with my home interiors? Of course it is. The answer is always yes. You just fall in love and the rest falls into place. Over to you, Richard.
Well, thank you very much, Lucy, and we are now going to go to the certificate of authenticity. Later on, bidding is coming in, and here is your Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol. Now, later on, this is an important piece. Why do I say that? Where it says title, Marilyn Monroe, you'll see something that says reference, F&S 22/31. This is an original screen print. Now, F&S 2231 means it is a catalogue reference piece. Now, if you're watching for the first time, that might not mean a lot to you, but in the art world and in the auction world, it's very, very important, because it's like buying a Rolex and having the paperwork to prove it's an original, or not having the paperwork. Maybe it's from Canal Street. So this is an original catalogue reference Andy Warhol. He was born in 1928. And ladies and gentlemen, he died in 1987. It is an original screen print. Thank you very much, Sales and Bid. Thank you, Beverly. Screen print in colour on museum board after the original. It is stamped and published by Sunday B Morning. Fill in your own signature on the verso, and it's from the Sunday B Morning edition, published in Switzerland. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, a lot of you phoned in, and if you didn't get through because there was a mad rush at that price, please call in and we will at least take your name and number, and we will put you on the wait list to see if one becomes available. John, so we'll take your name and number, we'll get you registered when we can, and ladies and gentlemen, because we had about 80 calls on that first lot. So ladies and gentlemen, absolutely phenomenal response. Thank you so much for watching, but do feel free to leave your name and number. We'll get back with our registration department to make sure you're registered on the show. That's the key. So ladies and gentlemen, we just takes about 45 seconds to register you, but if we don't get through, please call in now, get yourself registered, and then you're ready to bid not only today but any time in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go then. Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe, screen print in colour on museum board after the original, stamped and published by Sunday B Morning. Fill in your own signature on the verso. That's what it says from the Sunday B Morning edition. 1,000 is bid, 11 is bid, 1,100 is bid, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a large piece, very, very large work of art. Both things that had to be there under Warhol's instruction. This is what he wanted on the piece. It was created in Switzerland, and ladies and gentlemen, that is an iconic image. Now, Lucy, I would say a fair price for this. I know that some of the Sunday B Mornings sell in the region of 60,000. I would say anything under 10 is fantastic for this image. Would you agree? Here's Lucy, and let's have a look at those Sunday B Morning auction results again.
Yeah, of course, and I agree with you 100%. And the thing is, you know, look, I also feel art is all about falling in love with the work, and your knowledge will follow. And the beautiful thing about starting to collect art, so maybe you are new to the world of art, just really go with that gut reaction. And this is a great place to start because of that catalogue reference, you know, the fact that it is in the catalogue, Resonate, it gives you, I think, a lot of reassurance. But yes, let's go to those auction results again for Sunday B Morning. So if we go to my screen, here's one that sold for 74,000. So you can understand that they really do have value attached to them. Another one here at 31,000, one for sale at the moment at 36,000 euro. Remember, they come in all different colorways. That's exactly what Andy Warhol was known for. It's about mass production and changing the image slightly with colors. Written about, you know, the Sunday B Mornings, you know, they do have the respect in the marketplace. And, you know, saying stands as a playful, rebellious chapter in the story of Andy Warhol's enduring legacy. It embodies the artist's fascination with mass production and his penchant for irony. So next time you come across the Sunday B Morning print, remember it's not just a replication. And just before we go, let's just go back to Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a final opportunity. It's a fantastic piece. I'm just going to measure it. Someone asked me if I'd just measure it again. I've got it on the screen, actually, above the phone number. It says 41 by 41. That should be right. It is 41 inches by 41 inches. It is a large piece. Don't forget, the framing comes included on this show, ladies and gentlemen. So everything that you see framed comes framed exactly as you see it. And that framing, believe it or not, is quite expensive. So ladies and gentlemen, that comes free of charge with your hammer price. When the hammer comes down, it comes framed with the certificates of authenticity, everything going for it. I'll give you 2 minutes final call for bids, 2-minute final call for bids. Here's Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important for everyone to understand that everything does come framed. You know, and the frame on this is at least 1,000, and you're at 1,200. I showed you exactly what these works were selling for and are selling for at the moment. So you truly do have this wonderful opportunity once again to own this incredible piece of art. And this is really what all of our modern homes are wanting right now. It's what is in all of those art galleries that sell modern art. And I know that when I walk into the galleries that I've been part of for the last 20 years, this is exactly what everyone is asking for. You know, this is it. And as soon as anybody walks into your home, let me tell you, they are immediately going to recognize this as an Andy Warhol. He is one of those artists, you don't even need to see a signature. We all know exactly what an Andy Warhol looks like, what his style was like, and this is truly wonderful. I love it, and you will find these ones in the Modern Art Museum there in New York City, and you'll own one yourself. That's the wonderful thing. I love it. I just think it's fantastic. And you know, if we go back to my screen here, you can see all of the different colorways. And in fact, you know, the one is very similar to the one that we've got for you this evening. Let's go back to Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Well, I'm selling now, ladies and gentlemen. You've got 40 seconds. Last chance and final call for bids. About to sell at 13 bid, 13 bid, 13 bid. Thank you very much at 1,300. I'll take another one off anyone at 13. At 1,300, and we're live at the auction, and we're selling now at 1,300. 1,300. Some of the Sunday B Morning edition of Andy Warhol have made up to $60,000 at auction. So this is an authentic catalogue reference, Sunday B Morning edition from Switzerland of the great images of Andy Warhol, all authorised at the time, ladies and gentlemen. So about to sell. Take another one off anyone at 13. Come on, give me your best and final bid. Give me your best and final bid. Is at 14 now. At 13 bid, 13 bid, 13 bid. Another one off anyone at 13. At 13 bid, at 13 bid, 13, 14 bid, 14 bid, 1,400 bid, 1,400. Give me your best and final bid. At 1,400. Is there another one off anyone at 14 bid? At 14 bid, at 1,400 bid, at 1,400 bid on the fantastic Marilyn Monroe. Ladies and gentlemen, I said anything under 10,000 here today. Now, I know a lot of you are brand new to the show because this is a completely different time for us, but ladies and gentlemen, anything under 10,000 for something like this, phenomenal. I'm selling it now. Take another one on the Marilyn Monroe from the great Andy Warhol design there at 1,400. Another one off anyone, and it comes frame, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just alter the image one last time at $1,400. Is there another one off anyone at 14 bid? At 14 bid, a great piece. That will have a lot of impact in your home, and I'm selling now at 14 bid. Best and final bids plus the buyer's premium. It goes at 14. Best and final bid, the gavel's high. 14, it's gone. Well done, congratulations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you still wanted that, apparently, John, there's still one available. Is that correct? One available, 600 plus the buyer's premium. Do feel free to call in now. If you have trouble getting through and we don't have time to register everyone, please just leave your name and number, and we will get a member of the phone team to call you back, and we'll put you on the wait list for one of those. Ladies and gentlemen, 600 plus the buyer's premium. There's one available from the great Banksy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at this next lot. This is also by Andy Warhol, and it is the Campbell soup, famous image. Ladies and gentlemen, that last one made in the region of $1,500. I'm going to start this one very quickly for you, and let's see what I can do. Let's start it at only $500, and I'll put up a 3-minute clock. Have we got the certificate here at $500? Well, let's go to Lucy at $500. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, this one, again, iconic. This is how it all began. It was all about the soup cans. He started creating them in 1962. And remember, the art world and the general public had never seen anything like this at all, ever. And they went on exhibition. There was a whole series of them. It was, I believe, 32 of them in total. And he only sold one. And actually that was sold to somebody that his art dealer bought it back, and the art dealer kept them and sold them for millions years later. But let's go to my screen, because we know what happened. And they've now become some of the hottest fought over works of art ever, and hanging again in the Modern Art Museum there in New York City, and of course in every single modern art museum around the world. What's interesting, and I need to show you this, is you will see when Richard shows you that certificate, you will see that reference FNS 2.47. That's exactly the same, okay? We have to make sure everyone understands that. This was 44,000 at auction back in 2021. Look at this as well. It goes into 2026, Christie's New York, 88,000. That's the power of the art market, and in particular blue chip artists like Andy Warhol. Let's go back to our work and let's just talk a little bit more about him. So he created these and exhibited them in 1962. And once the public and the critics got over their shock and got over themselves, they warmed to the soup cans. And they realized that he'd made art fun. He changed the art world. You know, everyone was so serious up until that point, and it meant that they could actually understand art. We could understand the artist, and he was creating these ironically humorous works, these portraits of soup cans. And the British artist Richard Hamilton described pop art as popular, transient, expendable, low cost, mass produced, young, witty, sexy, gimmicky, glamorous, big business. And it was huge. And as Warhol himself put it, once you got pop, you could never see a sign the same way again. And once you thought pop, you could never see America the same way again. So he took all of those everyday objects that we would see every single day, and he turned them into art. And the more banal, the better, as far as he was concerned. And he loved that mass production. Much equals better in Warhol's world. And remember too, that the work that you're looking at right now is far more supreme in terms of quality than his works, the identical works that he created in his own studio, The Factory, because he was a starving artist and he didn't have lots of money to spend on materials. But with the Sunday Bee Mornings, no expense was spared. Over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievably on this Warhol, I haven't had a bid. I opened it very low for you at only 500. The other one sold in the region of 1,500. I've opened this at 500 with no bids on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to read the certificate of authenticity. I'll put up a final 3-minute clock, and it's up to you now, ladies and gentlemen. Please call in. We'll take your name and number. If we can't register you immediately, we had nearly 100 calls already on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we can't register you immediately, we will get the registration team to call you back today and tomorrow, get you registered in time for tomorrow's auction as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll do our best to get through to everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is call in now, get yourself registered. I've not received a bid on this, John. I'll have to pass it out. By the time it reaches 1 minute, if I don't receive a bid, it will go out. This is Onion from the Campbell Soup Suite. Ladies and gentlemen, screen print in colour on museum board after the original, stamped and published by Sunday Bee Morning. Fill in your own signature on the back as he requested, and it's from the Sunday Bee Morning edition. You've got 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. Call in now. If there are no bids in the next minute, I will pass it out. I've opened it at only 500, and that is crazy for one of these. Here's Lucy. 1 minute. If not, it's going out. Please call in and give us your name and number, and we'll get you registered.
I mean, I am quite surprised, and I know that perhaps people are sort of having a little think, and you can't really hesitate for too long, but this is just for me a no-brainer. This is Andy Warhol. It is in the catalogue raisonné. It is probably one of his most famous works, if not the most famous, the soup cans. You know, it represents the moment Warhol changed the definition of art. That was in 1962. Nobody had seen anything until this point like it, and it changed everything. And it's quintessential Warhol. The soup can is him. Marilyn gave you the celebrity, the dollar sign gives you money, but the soup can give you Warhol's fascination with consumerism, repetition, mass production, and everyday American life. So if you want an image that immediately says Andy Warhol, this is right at the top of the list, in my view, and I think really in the art world's view as well. So it's a really nice personal connection as well, because he had soup every day for lunch. Now, the thing is, he had been a commercial illustrator for Glamour magazine in New York for 10 years, and he became bored, and he said to his friend, I need some ideas, you know, I want to really explore my art further. And she said, I'll give you an idea, but you're going to have to pay me for it, which I think is so lovely. And he did. And she said, you just need to paint things that you love. And he had soup every single day, so he bought the entire selection of Campbell soup cans and he painted them. And that was that. They went on exhibition in 1962, and look what's happened. This is huge, and you've got a beautiful opportunity right now to own a work by him that's in the catalogue raisonné. Loving the frame on this as well. It's like a frame within a frame. And, you know, this is a radical work. It was radical in 1962. Imagine walking into an art gallery which was dominated by abstract expressionism and serious American art, and seeing paintings then that were really serious, and then suddenly seeing a Campbell soup can. I think it's fabulous, and that's what defined art. And he was basically saying, why can't this be art? you know, and telling really people to get over themselves. And he did it very well indeed, wouldn't you say? Let's go back to Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Lucy. You've got to understand, if you're not familiar with Warhol, that his two most iconic images are really Marilyn Monroe and the Campbell Soup series. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you could have got hold of a Warhol, you know, in the 1970s and 80s for a couple of $1,000s, you probably would have thought it was a lot of money then. They make millions of dollars today. That's the thing about art. You just don't know what's going to happen. I'm about to sell it. 800 bid. 800 is bid, and it's on sale. And with you, one final minute with me, then a 1 minute clock, and it's the final call for bids, please. Final call for bids. Red banner. One final call for bids. There we go. Selling now. 800 bid. 800 bid. Is there another 50 to move on? 850. Thank you very much, Michael. At 850. At 850. 850 is bid. 850. 850 is bid. 850 on the Warhol. Under 1,000. This has never happened ever. 850, and I'm selling now. 850. Is there another one to move on? Best and final bids now. Best and final bids. Best and final bids. Yes or no? I'm selling now. 850 bid. 850. 9 bid. Thank you. 9 bid. Good to see you, Beverly. At 9 bid. Take another 50 to move on. Someone round it up. Give me 1,000. Give me a best and final bids. I'm about to sell. John, are we done? I'm about to move on. I'm about to move on. Is there another bid? Yes or no? Final chance. Final call. Any bids? Any interest at all? Any bids? Any interest at all? I'm about to sell. I'm about to sell, and it's going. It is on sale with you. On sale with you. Going once. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to be quick. You've got to be quick. I'm selling it. I'm selling it. This one here. This one here. Ladies and gentlemen, about to go. We are selling. We are selling. Any further interest? Best and final bids. Best and final bids. It's got to go. On sale with you then. Going once. And I'll take your best and 1,000 bid. Thank you. 1,000 bid. 1,000 bid on the Warhol. 1,000 bid. Is there another one to move on? 1,000. Beverly, are you bidding? 1,000 bid. One going to bid at one. I bid at one. Going to bid at one bid. 1,000 bid. 1,000 bid, and I'm selling. It's on sale with you. Got you here. Got you here. Thank you very much. It is about to sell. It is about to go. On sale with you then. On sale with you. Another bid, John, yes or no? People still registering, but I've got to move on, unfortunately. That's the beauty. Just call in, give us your name and number, we'll get you registered. Give us your name and number, we'll get you registered. Take another one off anyone at 1,000 bid, 1,000 bid. It goes once, twice, sold and gone. Best and final bid there. Congratulate yourself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at this next one. I think, judging on the reaction of this one, that you're going to love the next one. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. John, I'm sure there will be a huge response here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to match the price of the first one. Now, this should sell really for about $2,500 in the auction. But I did the first one as a gesture. I'm bringing in his second image now. Banksy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to match the price. 600 plus buyer's premium. 600 plus buyer's premium, ladies and gentlemen. So very, very simple for you. Let's go to the certificate of authenticity. So call in now if you'd like it. John, I believe on this one, we actually had 6 of them from the museum. Is that correct?
That's correct.
6 have been released by the museum. Heart Boy, they only release maybe once or twice a year. Offset lithograph in colour on thick woven paper. It's from the deluxe edition, ladies and gentlemen, and it's an exhibition at Moyses Hall Museum in Suffolk, England. Now, you don't have to bid on this one. I've just matched the price of the first one, which was called Hula Girl. And ladies and gentlemen, all you've got to do is call in now, give us your name and number. If you can't get through and get all registered, etc., we'll put you on the wait list, and we'll see if we can get you one, ladies and gentlemen. But do call in, give us your name and number, and we'll do our best to give you one of the 6 available. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fantastic piece. It was created for Banksy by the Moyses Hall Museum in Suffolk in England, my home country. I come, actually my family from London, but we moved 1 hour south to the south coast to Brighton. Many of you have heard of it. You've got a very famous Brighton Beach in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, so Moyses Hall Museum. Events, exhibitions, history and culture. This is very close to where King Charles has his country residence, or one of them. Moments, Sunday 23rd of May to Thursday the 30th September at the Moyses Hall Museum, Bury St Edmunds in 2021. They released one of these images again. Lucy gave auction results for these. They can sell up to about $8,000. I'm doing it. Typically, I would say 5 to 6 is a fair bid range for these, but I'm doing it. We've got 6 available at $600 plus a buyer's premium. It comes framed, it comes certified, released from the museum, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over to Lucy, and it's a buy it now, Lucy. I'm just going to match the price at $600 plus a buyer's premium. Here's Lucy.
Crazy, because I know how much these do go for, and you know, honestly, everyone, you don't even need to think about it. It's just one of those situations where you just go for it. Let's go to my screen, because this one is for sale at the moment. Someone is selling one of these, and it's at $5,000 there. Exactly the same as the one that you've got right in front of your face at $600. So if we come back to our work, you know what you got to do. I know we had so many calls for the first work by Banksy that I think some of you may have missed out, but let's just go to my screen and let's just have a look. So here is Heart Boy. It's very famous, this one, depicting a young boy holding a spray can and painting a pink heart on the wall. And it's believed to have first appeared in 2009 on a wall in Bristol in England, so where he's from, where Banksy is from. And the meaning, now, you know me, you don't have to interpret everything. You can just love something for what it is and just not look for any further than that. But this one is open to interpretation, and many people see it as commentary on the power of love and creativity. So the heart is obviously symbolizing love, and the spray can representing the ability to create something new and meaningful. But it's a very iconic work by Banksy, and as we know, making headline news all over the world for his works. And let me just remind you of auction results, the power of that name, which is Banksy. Remember, this is the art movement of our generation. And back in the day when he first jumped onto the scene, I don't think people ever anticipated how huge he would become, because you could acquire a print for $385, which is now today worth way more, $82,500. So, you know, there we have it. You just don't know what's going to happen with the one that you're acquiring right now. It's nearly $11,000 for a poster, an offset lithograph poster for an exhibition. So this was one in Los Angeles. Look at that, though. This is what's important, I think, to point out. The estimate. So they just imagined it was going to achieve between £300 to £400, so between $400 to $500. It actually achieved nearly $11,000. And that is because people, bidders, you and I, we realise the power of this name and what's going to happen in the future and what has happened. You know, we've seen that historical data. Another one there as well, low estimate, although a little bit higher than the previous year on that one. Also achieving a huge amount of money, $6,500. You're at $600. I know what I would be doing if I was allowed to bid and I was allowed to buy it now, but I'm not. So if we come back to our work, so I would be getting on those phones if I was you, because of that proven track record that Banksy has of appreciation in the Banksy market, in the street art market. His prints have multiplied in value dramatically over the last 10 to 15 years. Even unsigned works that were once a few $100 have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. You know, we've seen it, we've seen that data. High profile auctions, obviously raising that exposure even further. So honestly, just go for it. Let's go back to Richard.
Thank you, Lucy, and I have the certificate of authenticity for this one. I just want to show it to you. Heart Boy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very surprised. On that first lot, the Hula Girl, which if you come to me for a second, I'll just show it to you. I put it up as number 1 now. Let's move across. Thank you. Number 1, I've just put it there. There's one available. If someone still wants it, we had 100 calls on that piece, ladies and gentlemen, and so there's one available. If someone wants it, all you got to do is call in now. if we can't get you registered in time, give us your name, give us your number, and we'll get the registration team, get you registered. We don't share your information. We don't give it to anyone else. It's only for you to bid here on the show live today, tomorrow, and any time in the future. You do it one time only. It takes 45 seconds. We're taking names, we're taking numbers, and our fantastic registration team will be back to you, but we'll try to secure you the piece straight away. Is that fair, John?
That's fair.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the certificate of authenticity. For the second one, I've matched the price. I stopped the bidding at only 600, so I'm doing the same. It's called Heart Boy. It is by Banksy, and ladies and gentlemen, we got 4 available. So get on the phone if you'd like to be registered for one of these. Offset lithograph in colour on thick woven paper from the deluxe edition, which was executed for the Moments exhibition at Moyses Hall Museum in Suffolk. We had 6 of these released. 2 are gone. There are 4 available. I've done it at a buy it now price. You haven't even got to auction this one off, ladies and gentlemen. So released by the Moyses Hall Museum in Suffolk, England, 2021. Extremely rare. And ladies and gentlemen, as you've seen with Lucy, can we remind everyone those auction results again? Because I know they're achieving up to about $8,000 each now. I'll stand next to it, give you an idea of the scale of the piece. It's a great image. Collect it now. And I can say with my hand on my heart, your children, your grandchildren will be very, very happy with your acquisition today, because at $600, it's about 10% of what they're usually making. So ladies and gentlemen, snap it up. There are 4 available. Get on the phone now. Give it, let us have your name and number. The registration team will take care of you. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Lucy. And Lucy, I'll give 2 minutes to talk about it. And it is your last chance then, ladies and gentlemen. Then we're moving on with the show. 600, buy it now. Here's Lucy.
Yeah, and regardless of its meaning, you know, Heart Boy, we know now, has become one of Banksy's most beloved pieces of street art, and it's been replicated in many different forms. So, you know, this is a really good one to have. Everyone recognises it. Let's go to my screen, and as Richard has asked, you know, let's remind ourselves, you're at $600, buy it now. This one sold an offset lithograph poster exactly the same from an exhibition, $10,000, nearly $11,000. This is the thing with the art world. We don't know what's going to happen. But because it has Banksy's name on it, wonderful things can happen. So not only do you own something you love, you just don't know, you know, in the future. There we have another one there, also an offset lithograph colour poster, $6,500. If we come back to our work really quickly as well, if I can just get to that in time before we have to go back to Richard, if I just also perhaps remember to show you that you could wake up tomorrow morning regretting that you didn't go for it and come to this website, and you'd have to spend $5,000. So if we go to my screen, yeah, there we go, $5,000, all right? Exactly the same. Let's come back to our work. Remember, we've been in the art world, we've been around for 19, 20 years, so we've got really good connections, and we therefore share that with you. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on with the show. I had to, normally I would bring one in after the other, but because there were so many of you called, I literally had to split them up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the chance now. You can call in. We'll get your name and number. We'll endeavour to get you registered straight away. So many registrations all at one time because of the popularity of the golf, ladies and gentlemen. So, well done to the ladies on the golf, and fantastic go. You were watching it early this morning, weren't you, John? Of course. Yeah. Well, he's a golf fanatic. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move on with the show, and come to me, please, and we're going to bring in our next lot, and it is by an American art superstar, and I do mean superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a sculpture, and it is his most famous image. I love all of his images, but this is the one that really has set world records, and it is the rabbit. Is a strictly limited edition of 500, so we'll have that in the graphics for you when it comes back. So, ladies and gentlemen, the limited edition of 500 from the design of the world famous Jeff Koons.
In modern art, famous sculptures inspired by the joyful shape of balloon animals transport us to where imagination merges with reality. These sculptures, with their commanding presence and brilliant colors, capture us, inviting us to linger and see their splendor. Crafted from high-grade resin, imbued with an essence of permanence and an opulent sheen, they juxtapose the ephemeral with the enduring, demonstrating mastery of both material and meaning. These sculptures urge us to consider not just the art itself, but also bigger concerns about existence, beauty, and the influence of human creation. Inspired by a simple enjoyment, these sculptures demonstrate art's tremendous capacity to ignite discourse and create a new view on the world.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to show you the scale of the piece. It's actually 14 inches high, 14 inches high, and at the widest point, which would be the ears, naturally, being a rabbit, just over 5 inches, so 14 by 5. It's got some nice weight to it. And Lucy, what I love about this is in the pink or rose gold finish. I love these. I didn't actually know they were available. I thought they only available in the sort of silver polish or gold, and there was a blue one, if I remember, available. But they've done it in the rose gold finish, which is absolutely beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start this at only $500. It's a strictly limited edition of 500. I'm going to get the white gloves on because it's a valuable piece. And ladies and gentlemen, it is going to sell to the highest bidder. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get bidding on this one. 500 starts me, and let's take it to Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, we really are bringing out all of the great artists, aren't we, this evening? Because, you know, this is such a special moment for us, but also for you at home, to be able to bid on a Jeff Koons. I mean, this particular work, I mean, if you want the original to this, those life-size monumental works, you're going to have to spend 68 million on it. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. And actually, the rabbit sold for 90 million. We need to talk about some famous collectors as well. So Steve Wynn, who you probably have heard of there in Vegas, he was actually the Joker of Vegas for a bit because he bought Popeye by Jeff Koons for 28 million. Everyone laughed at him, but then he turned down an offer very recently of 60 million. You know, so this is a huge deal, the fact that you've got an opportunity right now to own a work by this artist. And there is the first tier, which are worth millions. There's the ceramic tier, the limited editions that have been created in ceramics, which are selling for around 40,000, and then there is this tier which are selling anywhere between 6 to 12,000. So the fact that you're able to own, and in my view this is the better one to own because it's the cold cast resin, so very easy to pick up and feel like you're not going to break it. You know, it's nice and solid and sturdy. Let's go to my screen. But so beautiful, and this is, I think, the what's the word, the secret to his success is that beautiful reflective surface, which, by the way, took years to perfect. But here he is in front of his balloon dog, and there is that auction result. Nobody, he most definitely, Jeff Koons, did not anticipate 91 million when he first set out on his creative journey, but 91 million is what it achieved at Christie's New York in 2019. There's Balloon Dog, 58,000. That was before the rabbit in 2013. And this was the second level that I spoke about, which is the porcelain, but it's very fragile, 46,000. And that made headline news a few years ago when it broke into 1 million pieces. Let's go to Richard.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, and this is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give you a chance to bid on this one. I've not received a bid so far, which is most shocking, but here is your limited edition number on the bottom here. So strictly limited edition of 500. It is beautiful. It's got some nice weight to it. I would say that's somewhere around 4 or 5 pounds in weight, ladies and gentlemen, probably what I put on in New York this weekend. So ladies and gentlemen, which is not unusual for me. Let's get bidding on this one. I'll give you a chance to bid on it. Here's your certificate of authenticity. And ladies and gentlemen, strictly limited edition of 500 from the design of the incredible Jeff Koons. Now, 3-minute clock. There are no bids on it at the moment. If I don't see a bid in the next 2 minutes, I will have to pass it out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Balloon Rabbit is his world famous piece. Lucy, I don't know if you, we're rather busy here in the studio, but I don't know if you did show the auction result for the Rabbit. We had over 100 calls for the first lot, so I'm sure you can understand. Balloon Rabbit, rose gold. If you did have the auction results for the main one, that would be great. Cold cast resin sculpture after the original, engraved on the underside, limited edition of only 500. No bids at the moment. We've got about just over a minute and 20 seconds. I'll pass it to Lucy, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a great piece, limited edition in the rose gold finish. Let's zoom in on that one, ladies and gentlemen, and let's enjoy the sculpture.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, everybody, I think you already know this. He is the king, Jeff Koons, of status objects in contemporary art. This really does make a statement. It's what we all want in the 21st century. We want things like this in our home. And to own a Jeff Koons, an actual Jeff Koons, is really something very special indeed. His works are instantly recognisable, visually iconic, and I agree with Richard, the rose gold finish is just divine. And they photograph beautifully, you know, and they symbolise this sort of luxurious lifestyle, modernity, you know, and they reflect back everything of our environment. I think that's what's so appealing, whether we realise it or not. And they scream luxury and status, don't they? So, and make no mistake, the simple balloon forms are actually engineering marvels. They truly are, and he turned nostalgia into this luxury commodity. Let's go to my screen. Yes, Richard, I know how busy you are, and of course I can show it. 91 million, so everyone understands exactly the fact that he is a blue chip artist, and also just some of the wonderful places he's exhibited his works. Look at Balloon Dog there at Versailles. I love that Versailles mix it up and the traditional surroundings with the modern art. New York City, you had Balloon Dog for a while there. He's just exhibited all over the world, performing at a festival here in London, Sydney, Australia. Check out the Made in Heaven series. It's really controversial, but again, gave him loads of exposure. The Rockefeller Center, Qatar, 46,000 you would have to spend on that porcelain version. Let's come back to our work. But he is so interesting too, because he did set off to be an artist, and when he qualified as an artist, he actually didn't then go on to be, as we term, a starving artist whilst he made it. He actually went to Wall Street and he became a commodities trader, and he studied the art market, and he established what an art collector wanted, and then he went out and created it. And I think we can all agree he really nailed it, because he has become the most successful living artist of our time, and that's taking into consideration inflation when it came to comparing him with Picasso. So he's a very successful artist, which is why it's a very safe place to spend your money. It's a very safe place to spend $850, which is exactly what you are at the moment. He is one of the most successful living artists of our time. He's most definitely a blue chip artist. He is here to stay. He's instantly recognizable. It's connecting with childhood and making us smile, and that's what it's all about. And it reflects you know, it reflects the room, it reflects the people, the light, everything is reflected in it. It's a fabulous work. Good luck, everyone. Back to you, Richard.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you 30 seconds with me. I'm about to sell it. Is there anyone else now? Is there anyone else now? Give me your best and final bids. Give me your best and final bids. It's on sale and with you. On sale and with you. Anyone else, yes or no? Yes or no, I'm about to sell. It is about to go. Best and final bid, it's about to sell. It is about to go now. It's selling now. 9, thank you very much. 900 bid. At 900, I tell you what, John, at 900, I'm going to stop the auction and I'm going to do it. It's sold at 900 plus the buyer's premium. I've got 3 available. 3 available. I'll match the price. All you got to do is call in now. There were 500 in the world. We had 3. There are 3 available at 900 plus the buyer's premium. So, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is call in now. I've matched the price for you. Thank you for your bid there, Michael, at 900. And And ladies and gentlemen, there are 3 more available. All you got to do is get on the phone now, give us your name and number. We'll get you registered. If you don't get through, do try again, and we will get the registration department to make sure you are registered for today, tomorrow, and any time in the future. That's all you've got to do. Call in, leave your name and number. We'll put you on the wait list as well, John, if there's one available. If you don't manage to get the first 2 or 3, we will get you on the wait list to see if there's one available. I've stopped the bidding at only 900 for this absolutely beautiful little image. And what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is just show you how I would display it. This is how you should display it. Now, these podiums, they're available online. Let's drop the graphics for a second, just so you can enjoy that. But ladies and gentlemen, it is a balloon sculpture, and by having these acrylic sculptures, podiums, they're very cheap to acquire on the internet. You can look up podiums, acrylic, and ladies and gentlemen, you'll be surprised how low priced they are. But if you enjoy the sculpture of Jeff Koons designs, I would have it on one of those. Why? Because it is a balloon and it's meant to be floating. So it's a great, great way to display it anywhere in your home. And you can buy much smaller version podiums as well. In fact, I've got one here. I'm going to bring that in, ladies and gentlemen, just to show you. So you can get all different sizes, and that is probably the right size for that piece. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need. You could have a big podium, a small one, but ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a beauty. 900, there's 2 more available, John. 2 available at 900 plus the buyer's premium. All you got to do is call in now. Let's bring back the graphics. I'll give you a chance. We'll take your name, we'll take your number, we'll put you on the waiting list if they do sell out, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get you one somewhere, even if we have to order it from the Jeff Koons design department. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Wonderful, wonderful opportunity. 900 plus the buyer's premium. I've stopped it, Lucy, under 1,000. Can you believe it? Over to you, my dear.
Can't really, and I don't quite know what's got into you, Richard. Yeah, I mean, that's not for me to worry about, and definitely not for you at home to be worrying about. It's for you to be taking advantage of, because this really is a fantastic opportunity. And Jeff Koons, you know, it's just what everybody wants these days. And it's also very optimistic. Now, let's be honest, I don't think the world is that optimistic very often. So I think that's why we enjoy anything that is unapologetically joyful, which is exactly what it is. And Koons has often said he wants viewers to feel acceptance rather than criticism, and that positivity has enormous appeal. And I think without saying it, and what he's done here is, although it looks light, it weighs a ton, it looks soft, but it's made of a really incredibly durable, really nice weighty material, cold cast resin. It looks temporary, but it's built to last for generations. It looks simple, but what was required to create it was extraordinary technical skill. I mean, this is an artist who's known for his precision, known for his meticulous nature, and this just took a lot to really perfect, to be able to create something of this magnitude and of this polish and of this beauty. It did take, you know, an awful lot of technical ability, and it's quite astonishing. And people often will think, oh, I could have made that. Actually, no. You know, these sculptures are engineering masterpieces. Each one is fabricated from mirror polished reflective surfaces that take many months and extraordinary precision. And also, you're amongst really good, amazing people as collectors. I mean, he's been collected by Leonardo DiCaprio, Stephen Cohen, Larry Gagosian, Dakota Johnson, David Geffen, Steve Wynn. So some really high-profile collectors as well. And his works is really rooted in these ideas of optimism, nostalgia, shared experience. These balloon animals, they definitely all tap into something very universal. So anybody who walks into your home and sees it is going to smile. And I think that's why everyone really loves Jeff Koons, because his works always, without fail, make you smile. And you just look at it and you just think, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Particularly with the rose gold. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, well, I just heard from John there's one available now, one available if someone wants that beautiful rabbit, the lovely rose gold. It's a limited edition. It's about 14 inches high by about 5 or 6 inches wide at the ears, and it's from a strictly limited edition. There's only 500 in the world. It's engraved on the bottom here, and ladies and gentlemen, it weighs, I would say, about 4 or 5 pounds. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a fantastic piece. There's one available if someone wants it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on with the show, and coming up next will be a fantastic painting by a brilliant British artist. Her name, Farrah Fortnum.
I always sketched as a child. My earliest memory is just always drawing plants, you know, in the home, in the garden. I'd just be sketching away. But I never really tried painting. Painting was quite scary to me. It was about 20 years ago that I kind of braved just getting the paints out, buying some paints, buying a canvas, and just, you know, exploring. I was trained in illustration at art college, but not really painting. So it wasn't the natural history, that element side of painting. So it was really a hobby that I did around my graphic design work that I was doing at the time. And yeah, just had fun doing it as a hobby on the side. And then I actually started exhibiting at a local cafe when we lived in Cambridge. And they just hosted loads of local artists' work, and I tried, and it was really successful. I had lots of paintings being sold there, and so that just gave me, you know, a bit of confidence. Like, okay, there's something here, because it's all self-taught. It's all my own style of sort of intricate henna designs that I'm sort of used to, and I just played with that, you know, and that just evolved into the paintings that you see today.
Welcome back, everyone. I really love this artist's work, and I know many of you do as well. I just think she has universal appeal, and she's one of those artists that, of course, you don't even need to look for the signature now, because once you've seen her work by Farrah Fortnum, you will recognise she has a very distinctive style. And I think what she does, and she does so well, is she makes her talent and her creativity seem so effortless. You know, those brush strokes that have this sort of hypnotizing quality about them, don't they? You're sort of mesmerized by them, and you're drawn in to the canvas. Make no mistake, you know, she's made it look effortless, but that has taken her 20 years to perfect. And I know I asked her that question when we had her on the show, and, you know, she just said, you know, it took a long time to be able to paint with such confidence and to be able to allow those strokes to flow. Now, also look at the graduation of color. She really does understand color and how to lay it down, and the beautiful graduations that she's able to create. Just look at those glorious brush strokes and how she draws you in. And this is what I think many of us love about her works, are the fact that it's almost as if she is able to get you to stop and to really just stand still for a bit and enjoy the moment. Her paintings really do have that ability, and she's a very exciting artist for that reason. So many people are now taking notice of her works, acquiring her work. She's really big here in the United Kingdom. She's now crossed over into the American market, and with shows like ours, remember, the biggest word and the most important word to any artist is exposure, and acquiring and getting lots of exposure so lots of people see their artwork. Look at the colours there. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. And violet is a colour that not many artists actually use. Chagall was famous for using it, and that beautiful Chagallian blue as well that she's used. So, you know, I'm very excited about her. I know many of you are too. And this is quite often the moment as well that collectors who, you know, they see a really talented, exciting artist, and they start to acquire their canvases. This is how great collections are built. It's all about having that eye. So if you have, then congratulations to you. Back to you, Richard.
Very much, Lucy. Well, I'm going to do this, so I'm going to show you the certificates of authenticity for these fantastic images. Now, they are original paintings, and what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give the top bidder the choice between the blue one or the monochromatic black, white and silver piece. So hand-signed Farrah Fortnum, they're painted on canvas. These are originals, they're one of a kind, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have others available. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to bid on these, they are the original paintings, so it's a high bidder's choice. You can have the blue one or the black one. That's all you've got to say. Is that clear, John? Blue or black. There we go. I think that's pretty simple, unless you're colourblind. Ladies and gentlemen, this is lot number 7. Lot number 7, and it is Eternal Bliss, original acrylic painting on canvas. I've opened it at only $1,000, and ladies and gentlemen, these should be selling in the region of $10,000. And ladies and gentlemen, these are fantastic, fantastic images, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to bid on these. Eternal Bliss is the title of the first one. Original acrylic is the one there, and it's signed by the artist on the upper right and titled on the verso. So blue one is called Eternal Bliss. If I could see the next certificate, thank you. This one is called Believe, and again by Farrah Fortnum, the British art star. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a bid. Let's put up a 3-minute clock, and if I don't see any bids by the time we reach 1 minute, John, get ready to pass them out and we'll bring in something else. So no bids at the moment. I've started these original paintings at only $1,000. They're signed by the artist on the lower left, titled on the verso, a unique work executed by Fortnum in her Bristol studio in 2026. And so this will be number 1, the blue piece there, ladies and gentlemen, so enjoy that. Fantastic, and well done, John. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, they are both signed on the front there, and both of them have their titles on the back. This one, Eternal Bliss, number 2. So it's the second painting in the Eternal Bliss series. Ladies and gentlemen, she has a great liking to the great Van Gogh in many, many ways. And here is Lucy. No bids at the moment. 1 more minute. John, get ready with the next piece. If I don't see a bid, they're going out. High bidder's choice. You can choose between 1 or 2, or have them both. Up to you.
I can't imagine that we're going to pass on these. Yes, and you mentioned Van Gogh. She had the honour of actually, let's go to my screen, she had the honour of having to do all of the artwork for the outside of the immersive for the Van Gogh experience. I don't know whether you've ever been, but it's incredible. So if you ever get the opportunity, definitely go. But she does. She almost is like this modern Van Gogh in the way that she uses colour, her brush strokes, her flow. Everything about her I just think is fantastic, and she really is transforming outdoor spaces, and these wonderful murals are popping up all over the place. Let's come back to our work, and I think the wonderful thing about her is she's not repeating any formulas. She's creating something that speaks directly to today's world and today's colours, today's ideas, today's emotions, and that is what great artists do. So consider this, every established name in the art world, every major painter, every cultural icon, they began exactly where she has begun. And then someone saw their work, they recognized the spark, they recognized the talent, they recognized the genius, and someone said, yeah, that's the one. And that moment became part of their collecting story. And please, honestly, that's what it's all about. She is very exciting. And I think we spend so much of our time at the moment looking straight ahead, and she invites us to look from above. And somebody apparently said of one of her paintings, you know, when she said, what do you feel when you look at one of my paintings? They said, I feel like I'm flying. And I think that's a really great way of putting it. I think the world seems much more calm, more connected, and infinitely more beautiful when you look at a work by her. She is all about the environment. She is all about the cosmos. She is all about being connected. You know, she manages to convey that in her canvases, doesn't she? When you look at that, you get the feeling of infinity. And then these are peaceful works. You can imagine yourself coming home after a hectic day and just sitting in front of them and enjoying them and sort of being transported to another reality, looking at those beautiful brush strokes. They are stunning, and only one of you, well, 2 of you can have them because they are originals. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much. I have Darren's bidder in the lead at 2,000 and it's selling now. 2,000 high bidder's choice, and we're going to ask the bidder in a moment. 21 I have now with New Jersey, and it's Roxy's bidder at 21. Going to bid at 2-1. I'm bid at 2-1. The high bidder has the first choice. The high bidder has the first choice at 21, and I'm selling. You can choose between number 1 or number 2, and ladies and gentlemen, we are bidding now at 21. I'm selling. 30-second clock with me, and it's on sale and with you. At 21, I'm bid at 2-1 bid. At 21, the high bidder's choice. At 21 on the original paintings here. At 21 bid. 21 is bid. 21 is bid on number 1 there, Darren. At 21, if you want it, Roxy's in the lead. 25, good bid, Florida. 25 with Florida now. At 25, and that's good bidding. They must have been to an auction before. At 25. At 25 is bid. Very good bidding, Florida. At 25, going to bid at 2-5. New Jersey, what would you like to bid next? At 25 on number 1. At 25 and I'm bid. At 25 and I'm selling. Yes or no? It's on sale and with you. On sale and with you. At 25, going to bid at 2-5. It goes. At 25 and I'm selling number 1. At 25 and it goes once. At 25 twice. Roxy, yes or no? Sold. 2,500. Well done, Darren. Thank you very much. You got number 1. Now number 2 is available. I'm going to start that at only $1,000, and I'll give you 1 minute to call in. 1,000 bid on the same size piece there, ladies and gentlemen. 1,000 by the wonderful Farrah Fortnum. 1 minute clock with Lucy. Lucy, what are your thoughts? I'm about to sell it to the highest bidder.
Well, congratulations, first of all, to our bidder there, just on that wonderful work. And now somebody else has the incredible opportunity to own a work, because I think with an emerging artist like Farrah Fortnum on that exciting path, you're not just acquiring a piece of art, you're stepping into her journey. And that's something we don't often talk about. And it's really exciting, I think, to own a piece of artwork from an artist whose story is still being written. You're seeing their career unfolding and getting more and more exciting, and building that momentum, growing their audience, their reach is expanding, and you're right there at the start of it. And congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back for having that wonderful eye. This is what it's all about. We say buy because you love it, but just imagine how much happiness you'll experience every day by hanging this in your home, and then that extra happiness when you get to experience the artist's journey and her rise to the top, just like we've seen with Kef. I mean, this is an artist who is on a similar path. And I think that's when it becomes really interesting, and you just get that high, and you also get to own a piece of art, a really beautiful piece of art that's very modern, very contemporary, exactly what you see in galleries all over the place these days. Is what I will walk into on a daily, weekly basis when I go to my local gallery. It's all about this style of art, but art with a unique difference. It's exactly what Farrah has. Over to you, Richard.
14 is bid, thank you, and it's 1,400 with Maryland at 14 bid. 14 bid with Maryland at 14 bid. 14 bid with Maryland now. 14 is the bid at 1,400, and I'm selling it. The last one just went to Florida for 2,500. This is over 1,000 less for the same size original at 1,400, and I'm selling. At 1,400, is there another one to move on? 1,400, 1,400, 1,400, I'm selling. On sale with you at 1,400, Michael's bidder. At 1,400, is there another one to move on? At 1,400, Armando, are you bidding, my dear friend? At 1,400, I'll take one more. I see people registering, but if you don't register in time, you may miss out, so do get yourself registered. At 1,400, all you got to do is call that toll-free number, 866-518-5933. On this magnificent original, it's about to sell at 1,400. At 1,400, is there another one? At 1,400, thank you, Armando. At 1,400, 1,500 bid. 1,500, I'm selling. 1,500, last call. Final call, 15 is the bid. At 1,500, another one off anyone at 15, and it's selling and going at 1,500. Lucy, can you believe we're 1,000 under what the beautiful blue one just made? But I love the monochromatic look. What is your final thoughts? I'll give you 30 seconds with Lucy. Get on the phone if you want it. Last chance, 1,500, Michael's bid. Here's Lucy.
I mean, this is a really unique work by her, and it really does give me that feel of the cosmos, you know, and I know that that's what she wants to create. She wants you to feel that you're part of something, that we're all connected. Look at those brush strokes. I love that monochromatic feel, and I can imagine this in someone's home, and maybe you do have quite a minimalist interior, and you put this on the wall and it just creates such a statement, you know, it becomes a focal point. This is what it's all about. And equally, if you've just fallen in love and you think, I don't know where I'm going to put it, you will find a space. I've heard of people who rotate their art. Some of their art goes away for a bit. They bring in the new, and then they start rotating. You create a whole new room by doing that. And actually, her works are interior designers' dreams, because, you know, they are quite neutral. You can do so much around this piece of art, and you do feel like you are literally going into that space. You're being transported into some sort of reality, which I love. Richard, over to you.
Thank you very much. At 19 is bid. 19 at a bid of 19, and it's on sale. 19 with Illinois this time at 19 bid. 1900 bid at 19 with Illinois. Is there another one to move on? Best and final bids now on the original. The last one just made 2,500. We're selling now at 1900. It's about to go at 1900. Last chance, last call. 1900. Last chance, last call. Anyone else? On sale, and we're then with Illinois at 1900. It goes once. Well, that is low for an original. They're about $10,000 in galleries. 1900 going twice at 1900. The third and the final time at 1900. Gavels high. 2,000 just in time. Thank you. Where are they from, John? At 2,000. 2,000. Connecticut. Thank you very much for your bid at 2,000. I'm selling now at 2,000. Last chance. Take another one. Give me your best and final bid. Illinois, what would you like to bid next? It is selling now at 2,000 bid. At 2,000 once. It is on sale with you at 2,000 going twice. Last chance, last call. 2,000. You just nipped in there, Connecticut. Third and final time. The gavel's high. So well done. Thank you very much. Congratulate your bidder there, Connecticut. You did well. Okay, well, we've got a limited edition by her, and this is a fantastic, fantastic image. Let's have a look at it. Hand signed by Farrah Fortnum there, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a wonderful artist-proof example. Let's bring up the graphics, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this to save a bit of time, John. To save a bit of time on this fantastic image. Both of those originals just sold. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen. John, I believe we only have, is it 5 available?
That's correct.
5 available, only 5 available. I'm going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This should sell in the gallery about $2,000. In our auctions, I would say a fair bid for it. Typically, 900 to 1,200 would be fair for that. So hand signed. She's only created, is it 22 in the world?
That's correct.
Only 22 artist proofs in the world. We've got 5 of them. They've arrived from England. Hand signed. I'm going to bring it under 800, under 7, under 6. Because you've been a great audience, I'm going to bring it under 5. First 5 people to phone in, $450 plus a buyer's premium, and it comes framed. There's only 22 of these in the world. We've got 5 of them, 5 available, $450 plus a buyer's premium. Lucy, that is a buy it now, just to save a bit of time, and then we're going to move on. So the first 5 people to call in, $450 plus a buyer's premium. All you got to do, get on the phone now, 866-518-5933. Once again, we will take your name, we will take your number, and our registration team, if you don't manage to get through to the front line here, we will definitely get back to you and get you registered for the auction, and we'll try and save you one of these at the same time. Is that fair, John? There we go. 5 available. Get on the phone very, very quickly. $450 plus the buyer's premium. Here's the lovely Lucy. What more could you ask? Here she is.
Wow. Okay. So I know it's gone crazy over there in Atlanta. There's lots of you calling in, so please make sure you don't miss out. This is a beautiful work. Let's go to my screen and let's just have a look at her at work on one of her fantastic murals. And again, she isn't doing any preparatory work. She literally is just creating directly onto that surface, which I just think is just magnificent. You know, that just shows the genius and the true talent of an artist. Could we go to my screen? I'm not sure whether we're able to or not, but hopefully we can, so everyone can see her at work here, you know. And again, you know, being able to do those wonderful flowing brush strokes and just gorgeous, isn't it? What she's able to do is, I think, phenomenal. And you know, this is really a talent, everyone, and you get to hang that work in your home. Let's come back to our piece and let's just talk a little bit about her work. And I think what she does is there's this extraordinary sense of peace and space in her paintings, isn't there? Whether you realise that or not. Now I've pointed it out to you, perhaps you do. They give us room to breathe. I almost feel like when you look at her work, you can just suddenly pause and take a breath. She captures that wonderful feeling of that peace feeling that often comes, I think, when we get a little distance from something and look at life from another perspective. And again, that's not easy to do. And whether she set out to do that, I don't know. But she's definitely achieved it. And look at the depth in this one as well. The way that, again, you're drawn in at the bottom. Your eye is sort of taken on a journey. It's really clever. Beautifully framed, beautiful composition. She really understands all about composition. Again, those graduated lines and brush strokes and beautiful colours, and I like that pastel feel and the way that those brush strokes and the colour graduations, they're not just one block of colour. There's all sorts of colours within that. She definitely favours that beautiful violet, which Chagall favoured as well. Just gorgeous, this one. And, you know, she's called it Moravia Ocean. I didn't even look at the title, but for me, it's sort of definitely signifying something else in my imagination. And that's what it's all about. There is no right or wrong when it comes to collecting art. And this is why I always say you do not need to know anything about art to go into galleries, watch the shows, start collecting, go to museums. All you need to know, very simple, what do I love? And if you love this work, $450 for a work by Farrah Fortnum. Her limited editions are selling for around that $2,500 mark. Her originals, as we know, are $10,000 and upwards. It really, truly is a special price at $450. That frame is over $450. But hey, that's why people watch the Fine Art Auction. You know you're going to get an incredible deal. So just get on the phones. You won't miss out if you do that. Get yourself registered. It's over to you, Richard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great, great piece, and it's called Moravia Ocean, and there are two available. I've done them for only $450 plus a buyer's premium. It's a buy it now. She only created 22 for the entire world. John, these are artist proofs, so they're beautiful pieces, hand-signed, created by her in a studio in England. As I say, about $2,000 in the gallery. Is that fair for these? So, ladies and gentlemen, you got them with over a 75% discount. $450 plus the buyer's premium. So there's two available. I'm about to move on with the show, and we're going to bring you in a surprise, because actually, ladies and gentlemen, the piece which I'm bringing in next, I thought we might not have time for in today's auction. There have been so many phone calls right at the start of the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't give up. Call in now. Get yourself registered, 866-518-5933, because you don't want to miss this. Have a look at it, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely superb. And John, I'd like to see one more time. It's okay. I will bring in the rabbit, because I want you to see the size difference. This is a large sculpture, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Balloon Dog, and in my opinion, these are his most famous images, although the rabbit holds the world record price. But the Balloon Dog is my favorite. I actually have one of these in my collection. It's a cold cast resin sculpture after the original. It's engraved on the bottom. Again, a strictly limited edition of 500. Strictly limited edition of 500. And it is from the designs of Jeff Koons. Now, the rabbit was about 14 inches high by 5 inches wide. This one is 16 inches high. 16 inches high, but a lot wider. It's not 5 inches wide. This one is nearly 20 inches, so 4 times the width. So ladies and gentlemen, 4 times the width of the first sculpture. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start this one at only $500. Get on the phone and I'll put the rabbit up next to it just so you can see the size difference. So 500 gets me underway. I'm going to show you the certificate of authenticity, and later on I'll put up a 3-minute clock. 500 is the opening bid. John, if I don't see bids, I will have to pass it out after 2 minutes. So you've got 3 minutes to call in, ladies and gentlemen. Balloon Dog in red. It is the cold cast resin sculpture after the original from the design of the great American artist Jeff Koons, and it is an example of a limited edition of only 500. These are absolutely fantastic, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you an opportunity to bid on this. Here is Lucy, and I'm going to put the rabbit next to it just so you can see the size comparison. So ladies and gentlemen, there is the rabbit. There's your lovely rabbit, and a couple of you were lucky to get those. But that is the Balloon Dog, and this is going to hit that. So ladies and gentlemen, there is the Balloon Dog, and I'm going to just put that there for you just to see the size comparison. But ladies and gentlemen, that is a fantastic sculpture, and I own one of these. It is absolutely beautiful, and again, I have it on an acrylic podium. It looks superb. That's the way to display it. Ladies and gentlemen, no bids on it so far. This should be selling in the auction. Lucy, my opinion, around $5,000 to $6,000 for the Balloon Dog. So if you get this under $5,000, you've done very well. Here's Lucy.
Stunning is that, everyone. Wow. And may I say, it does look really good in front of that Bambi too. I think whoever acquires this Jeff Koons needs to acquire the Bambi as well. I think they go really well together. Let's go over to my screen because this is iconic. I mean, this is the one, obviously this is the life-size version of Versailles Palace, but gives you an idea of how iconic it is. And let's just remind ourselves of those auction results. So Balloon Dog, 52 million. Rabbit, 80 million. That's without buyer's premium. And then there is the porcelain edition that has been created. They sell for around 40,000, 46,000 there. But in my view, I would not be collecting those. They're way too fragile. There is the Balloon Dog, 58 million. And like I said, you know, he had no idea that that's what was going to happen and how much he would achieve at auction, but that's exactly what happened, 91 million for that piece there. So Balloon Dog really has become the iconic work by Jeff Koons, if we come back to our piece. And Jeff Koons himself sits at the top end of the contemporary art market with a proven track record, and I think this is important to talk about, and a level of recognition that really gives anyone who's collecting his work a real sense of confidence. Rich is pointing out there the edition size, or rather a number, the edition number. And also the other thing to know is that his market is not driven by short-term trends. It's supported by long-term institutional recognition and global demand. He's a global name. You know, he's an internationally acclaimed artist, and this is one of his most famous works. Then look at the surface. I mean, the way it sparkles and shines, the luster of it. Again, it's an engineering marvel. And I think it really is a compelling work, isn't it? It's very powerful. These are powerful, modern works of art, and it's exactly what the modern collector wants. It's what we all want. And at the same time, this is a work that does reflect our personality. It might reflect your standing as well in life. I know a lot of people like to have almost these objects that reflect where they are in their life, and you know, you might collect things because you just want fun, instantly recognizable names in your home. This would be it. There are many, many reasons to collect art. And also the other thing to talk about here is the fact that Jeff Koons is absolutely obsessed with perfection. So his works are meticulously produced, something I really enjoy about his works. I love that mirror-like finish. It's not casual art, you know, this is highly controlled and intentional art. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your fantastic sculpture. I can't believe, John, it hasn't made more than the rabbit. I mean, it's 4 times the width, 4 times the width. This is about 5 inches across at the widest point. This one is about 20 inches across, same size edition. So it's about 4 times the width, a little bit taller as well, but this is a beauty in the rose gold. So I just put that there for a size comparison for you. But this is the one we're bidding on. Ladies and gentlemen, it should be making about 5,000 here. I'll give you a chance to own it. I'll give you a chance to acquire it. But you've got to get on the phone now if you want it. And it's the last chance, last call for bids now. I'll give you 1 minute only. Final call for bids with Lucy, 1 minute only. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm going to show you. This is a lot heavier, obviously. I would say this weighs at least double, ladies and gentlemen, but that is how I would display it. Once again, on the beautiful acrylic podiums, you can see it. This is iconic. This is how we remember our childhood. If you're of a certain age, the Balloon Man coming to entertain the children. How iconic that he turned them into world record breaking sculpture. What a brilliant man. 1,000 with our good friend Beverly, thank you. And I'll give you 1 minute final call for bids. 1 minute final call for bids.
Yeah, I mean, he is a very clever artist. You know, visually, this really is, I think, very immediate and impactful straight away. It takes your breath away, doesn't it? Imagine that in your home. And it's got that rare quality of being instantly recognizable from across a room while still holding attention when you get up close and personal to it, because it's reflecting back at you. And I think the other thing too, which I really like and I've just suddenly thought about, is the fact that what he's done is he's managed to capture that moment of nostalgia, that playful innocence, you know, that just moment, and he's managed to capture it and have a lasting appeal with it. That's what's so clever about his works. And, you know, it is one of the most recognizable forms in the contemporary art world. Everybody recognizes Balloon Dog in the entire world. And they know it's Jeff Koons. They know that he is the most successful living artist today. Many people collect his works of art, many famous collectors, you know. He just has that international global appeal and that proven track record at auction, which I've shown you, those auction results. And he is exploring all of those themes, a little bit like Warhol in his day, of consumerism and mass production. And with Balloon Dog, you've got that shiny industrial finish, and it's almost as if it can be seen as a critique of modern society, you know. But I don't see it like that. I just see it as a beautiful thing. Over to you, Richard.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. I'm selling now. 1,000 is bid. One got a bid at 1. I'm bid at 1,000. It's on sale. Ladies and gentlemen, this should be making closer to $5,000 in the auction. Whoever gets this is unbelievable. At 1,000, well, the Balloon Rabbit, you did extraordinarily well on that. That should have made at least 3,000. This is more expensive to acquire, the Balloon Dog, due to the size. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm selling it now. Take another one off anyone. Best and final bid. 11 bid. Thank you. 1,100 bid. At 1,100 bid, is there another one to move on? At 1,100. And at 1,100, I'll give you 30 seconds with me then. 30-second clock. Final call with me then. At 11 bid. 1,100 bid, another one. Thank you very much. At 1,100 bid. At 1,100 bid, another one off anyone at 11, and it's selling. Get yourself registered, ladies and gentlemen, at 1,100. 1,100 only. 1,100 it sells and goes. 1,100. 12 is bid. Thank you. 12 bid. At 1,200 bid. At 1,200 bid. Is there anyone else now? At 1,200 and I'm selling. At 1,200 and it's about to go. At 1,200 it goes once. At 1,200 it goes twice. Best and final bid. Gavels high. Sold at 1,200. Now, John, I held the price there. I see 1 or 2 other people. We've had a problem getting you all registered because this is not our normal time. And ladies and gentlemen, we followed the golf. A lot of people watching that fantastic tournament. So get yourself registered now. John, I believe we had 3 in total.
Correct.
Okay, so there are 2 more available. I'm going to hold that price at 1,200 plus the buyer's premium. There are literally 3 more available. We have 4 total. 3 available now. So ladies and gentlemen, call in now, 1200 plus the buyer's premium. It is a limited edition. There were only 500 in the world. It's got a beautiful weight to it, a beautiful luster in that beautiful metallic red finish. It's like an apple red, candy apple red. Beautiful. In fact, I had a car that colour once, ladies and gentlemen. It was mainly rust, but anyway. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Fantastic work. And ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely superb. Lucy, let's give everyone 2 minutes to call in. 2 minutes to call in. 1200 plus the buyer's premium. We have 3 available from that limited edition. And that is a great, great article. Don't you think so, Lucy? Over to you.
I love it. I mean, it is, you know, I love the fact that this is not asking too much of us. This is very optimistic, it's joyful. You know, so many artists explore conflict, politics, suffering, but not Balloon Dog. Just joyful. Makes us smile, and that's what Koons wants, and that's what I want in my life. And if that's what you want, just get on those phones and don't miss out, because 1,200, buy it now. We've seen the prices. I know how much these works should go for. These pieces can sell anywhere between 7,000 to 12,000. I don't know how we can do it for 1,200, but that's not for you to worry about. You just need to take advantage of. And I think one of the biggest reasons for his success is the fact that his art distills complex ideas into one simple image. And many great artists have done exactly that. Picasso did it with a dove. Warhol did it with a soup can. Banksy's done it with a balloon. And Koons has done it with a balloon dog. So it's iconic. Over to you, Richard.
Well, Lucy, one's gone. There are 2 available now. So one's gone. Thank you very much. And that's with Karen. Well done. There are 2 available now, ladies and gentlemen. I've stopped the bidding at only 1,200 plus the buyer's premium, just to save a bit of time. We're going to take this one out now. John, you'll need the white gloves for this one, but I'm going to pass it as gently as I can there to the side. And there we go. Thank you very, very much, because I want to preview this for tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, this painting is enormous. It's 58 inches high by 58 inches wide, and this was displayed at the United Nations building in New York City, and it was by the one and only Bambi. Bambi is the world's leading female street artist. Now, in the end of the 20th century, you did have the pop art movement led by artists like Jean-Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring, and of course, Andy Warhol. We've had Andy Warhol on the show today. But the #1 art form today is called street art or urban art. And that great artist is Banksy, and I believe we've still got one of those available at only 600 if you want it. So I'll show you those again in a second. But this one, ladies and gentlemen, is an original painting, a huge piece. It's the largest one I've ever seen from her London studio. And ladies and gentlemen, she is the #1 female street artist of our time. Her name is Bambi. She's from London. Her identity is secret, although it is believed that she's a very famous female pop singer. We can't give you guarantees on that, but those are the rumors. So, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Bambi. She's collected by Madonna, by Brad Pitt. This piece hung in the United Nations building, and we're auctioning it tomorrow. Now, that piece, in my opinion, John, I would not be surprised if one day you're looking at a $500,000 piece.
I would agree.
If it was under 50,000 today, I think you've done very well. That will sell to the highest bidder on tomorrow's auction following the golf. Come with me for a second. The main artist of our time is obviously Bambi, female street artist, and then you have Banksy. These were released by the various museums. This one was released by the museum in Italy. This one released by the museum in Suffolk in England. They only do that maybe twice a year. They're very, very limited production of these works. They show very famous images, the Hula Girl and the Heart Boy. John, I believe we've still got an availability. Someone cancelled on the Hula Girl, so call in 600 plus the buyer's premium. You can have #1 or number 2. We have 2 of those available. The Heart Boy, call in now, $600 plus the buyer's premium. That's it. That's all I charge, and they sell typically $5,000 or $6,000. Lucy even had auction records now of 8, 9, and one as high as 11 or 12,000 for the same images. Ladies and gentlemen, $600. All you got to do is call in now, buy it now, and I'm going to show you one final little display, and this is for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a look at these iconic images. These are superb. Well, obviously, you'll see a resemblance there, ladies and gentlemen. Elvis Presley and myself. I'll tell you this. Don't laugh, John. I'll tell you the story tomorrow. But this is hand signed by that iconic artist, Bambi. Next to it is a wonderful work by an American art legend, his name Peter Max. So I worked with Peter Max many years ago. I've been doing this nearly 40 years, so there we go. Peter Max, hand signed, 1999 work. And then this is also the Statue of Liberty. I passed that yesterday. I was on the ferry, ladies and gentlemen, in New York. Fantastic. For $5, you go all round for 2 hours on the ferry. What a fantastic thing to do. These sculpture here are going to be auctioned. They're by a legendary English artist called Harry Bunce. These are in the auction tomorrow, so join us after that fantastic golf tournament live on CNBC, and we'll be with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you want one of the pieces here, number 1 is the Hula Girl, number 2 is the Heart Boy, $600 plus the buyer's premium. All you got to do is call in. Now, this I won't have time for today, but I'm going to try my best to auction it tomorrow, and that is a ceramic charger by our next artist. Let's have a look at his original painting. Now, his paintings, and you'll see to the side of it, a metal sculpture in black. Well, we're auctioning the painting. That big sculpture has just been created by him. He's world famous. He's already a museum artist. He is still under 40 years of age. He was born in 1989. And this original painting, Lucy will tell you, original paintings like this, hand signed by him. He's already not only had solo gallery shows, but he's had actually a solo museum show. Now, that normally does not happen during an artist's lifetime. After they go and leave us, that's when people really appreciate them, and then they create museum shows, but only for the very, very best. He's already had his own museum show in Germany, where he's from. He resides in Berlin, but right at this time, he's over in Asia at the start of his Asian tour. So later on, he's huge in China, big art market there. This is the hand-signed work, and once you see an original by this artist, you will never ever forget his pieces, because he is the German art superstar. And our final artist today, Keth.
Every line, every curve, every color, every breath held and every breath released. Art is created. Every moment spent in Berlin creating this style. Every moment spent in Shanghai mastering this style. Every moment of doubt, every moment of joy. Hours painting, years of creating. Harmony, peace, tranquility. With every collaboration, with every exhibition, his name grows.
Sold, California! Sold it under my... Sold at $41,000. Sold at 63.
With every hammer drop and every piece sold, now is the time for Keth.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, this is exciting and really exciting for tomorrow. So make sure you do tune in tomorrow for that Bambi, because that truly is a spectacular work to own. It's original, remember. But let's talk about Kef, because Kef is the art rock star right now, and he has had this incredible rise to the top. His works just sell for huge amounts of money, and for those of you who have been on that journey with him, it's been really exciting, hasn't it? And that's really the aspect I think we need to talk about too, is the fact that when you have identified a piece of art that you absolutely love, and you can see that this is an artist with considerable talent and creativity and all of those great things that make an artist stand apart from the rest, and then you start to acquire their works of art, and then you find that you become part of that journey and you see how successful they are becoming, it does get very exciting indeed. And the thing with Kef is that his works are in such demand that they are difficult to find, particularly originals, because there's only one of those in the entire world, obviously. But we have been working with this artist for a number of years now. We were really there at the beginning, and he almost repays us and rewards us for our loyalty and our support by allowing us to have some of the originals that he does manage to create. Now, if I go to my screen, look here, you know, generally what you're going to see is sold out. So every single piece there, sold, 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 sold. It is becoming increasingly difficult and much more challenging to find originals by him. Here is an original for sale at 88,000. Okay, so we can see that this is an artist who is able now to command large sums of money for their original works of art. And that is because he has had international exposure. Remember, it's all about exposure. He has been invited to some really huge events like the World Cup in Qatar, and he is now being commissioned all over the world. 42,000 there for a handbag that's been painted by Kef. And I think if we come back to our work, it's really important to let that sink in and understand you are now bidding on an original by Kef. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you very much, and bids are coming in, and people are obviously very familiar with the work of Kef. Ladies and gentlemen, he's probably one of the best artists in the world today. 5-5 is bid. Let's go to the certificate of authenticity, John, and it is a brand new original painting, the lucky number 8 from Asia, Unconditioned Bloom. He is a spiritual man. He is not Buddhist, but he does follow it. Ladies and gentlemen, Unconditioned Bloom number 8. And it's an original acrylic painting. These are selling in the region of $35,000 and $40,000 all day long. Is that correct, John? Original acrylic painting on woven paper, signed by the artist on the lower right. We're coming near the end of the show. We're into the final furlong now. And ladies and gentlemen, it is inscribed on the reverse. I'm going to show you that. It is a unique work. It was executed by Kef in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need the 4-foot ruler. It is a large painting. We're only at 7. If you get this under 20,000, I think you've done very, very well on this man's work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 35 inches wide, and the height here 42, 35 by 42. And ladies and gentlemen, we put it in dark this side so you can focus on the painting. Unconditioned Bloom number 8. It's the 8th painting in his brand new series. So ladies and gentlemen, it's Kef 2026. Simon Roland is his full legal name in German, ladies and gentlemen. So that is an original. These are the ones the collectors are going crazy for. 35, 40,000. I've sold one on the show, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, for $70,000. We're at 10%. I'm selling it. It's about to go. I've given you 2 minutes with Lucy. We're near the end of the show. 2 minutes only. Final call for bids. Yep.
Let's go straight over to my screen, because I've just found something I want to share with everyone. So look, some paintings don't just find a buyer, they find the home they were always meant for. From the moment we presented this remarkable work by Berlin-based artist Kef at the Hamptons Fine Art Fair, we had a feeling it would resonate with someone special. The Hamptons has a way of bringing together passionate collectors, extraordinary homes and artwork that deserves to be lived with. And so there are the new owners, their dogs and their house. And so there we go, let's come back to our work. You know, this is an artist now that really is becoming so high profile, and Architectural Digest, you know, is talking about this artist. He's been specified into those incredible architectural designs. He also is being talked about in the Financial Times. And when an artist makes that crossover and they cross from that art world recognition into cultural relevance, you know that this is an artist that is here to stay. You know, this is an artist, and if I can very quickly go back to my screen and show you some of those projects that he's now included in. I've got to go to auction. We haven't got time, but maybe
we're
a few
running
minutes
out of
later.
time.
Over to you, Richard.
We're running out of time, unfortunately, Lucy. I'm going to have to sacrifice this one at only 10. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to sell. I'm going to have to sacrifice it, but someone's going to be very lucky at 10,000 bid, at 10,000 bid only. And where are they from, John? At 10, got a bit of 10. I'm bid at 10. At 10,000, Texas in the lead. At 10,000 bid. At 10,000, they know Kef, obviously. At 10,000, 10,000. At 10,000, 10.5, I'm bid. At 10.5, got a bit of 10.5, California. At 10.5, got a bit of 10.5. At 10.5, at a 10.5 is bid. At 10.5, 11,000 now. Back with Texas, 11,000 I'm selling. At 11,000, at 11,000, and it's on sale with you. At 11,000, is there 11.5 to move on? At 11,000, I've got to move on, ladies. Ladies, you've been good bidders so far. I'll take, they must have been watching the golf. At 11,000, is there another 5 to move on? At 11, got a bit of 11. What a great tournament that was. At 11,000, take 5 more. At 11,000 going, I'm going to sell. At 11,000, 11,000 is bid. 11.5, 11.5 is bid. 11.5, a new bidder. At 11.5, where are they from? 11.5, New Jersey now. 11.5, and I'll take 12, and it's selling now. At 11.5, we got to go. 11.5 and selling. At 11.5 are going 12. At 12, got a bit of 12 at 12. At 12, got a bit of 12, and it's selling now. At 12,000 going once. At 12,000 going twice. At 12,000, third and the final time. You got it. Congratulate your bidder. Well done, Beverly. 12,000. That's sold and gone. Very, very low for an original. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a chance. I've only got about 2 minutes to do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you the piece. This is just arrived from his studio in Berlin. These are the ones they're going crazy for in Europe, because that is not glass you see there. It is not glass. How does he do it? It's actually finished with resin. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to get on the phone now. Take a note of the number if you're not familiar, 866-518-5933, because I'm going to auction it off. It's finished with resin. John, we're going to dim the lights in a second as well. He puts a butcher's block underneath it. He's in a sealed room with a gas mask on. Why gas? Because when the resin is wet, it has toxic fumes. When it's dry, whew, it's completely safe, ladies and gentlemen. So on top of the piece there is not only resin, but John's going to dim the lights now very, very quickly. I'm going to have to do this as I go off air. I've got 2 minutes only. Ladies and gentlemen, this has diamond dust in it. It's placed under the resin on this unique piece, on this very, very unique work. It's also produced on canvas, so you see the diamond dust. Let's zoom out on the image there, ladies and gentlemen. It's signed on the back. I'm going to start this. Oh, I look better in that light. Ladies and gentlemen, hand signed, Kev. I'm going to start it at only $1,500. The last piece just went for $12,000. $1,500. Get on the phone, and I'm going to sell this to the highest bidder. Here is Lucy. Lucy, I'm afraid we've only got about a minute left. Over to you to say goodbye and give me your opinion on the resin works. How crazy are they for these in the galleries in Europe?
Really crazy. And remember, Damien Hirst, he did a diamond dust version of a print, and that sells for $115,000 today. So this is what it's all about, everyone. Buy because you love, but you just don't know what's going to happen. And that is real diamond dust as well. And this is an artist, you know, who is now exhibiting alongside Banksy. He's Museum Provenance. He's had a museum show. It's a very exciting time, and this is a beautiful work. But I have got to say goodbye. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow. So it's goodbye from me. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Lucy. We'll see you tomorrow directly after the golf. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be off air in 30 seconds. I'll show you the certificate of authenticity very, very quickly. And here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. It is one way to happiness, I know that. Original mixed media work with Diamond Dust. Call the number 866-518-5933. And it is the Fine Art Auction if you need to look us up. Hand signed by the artist on the verso from a series of unique variants. It's on sale and with you as I go off air now. 5 seconds to go. See you tomorrow directly after the golf. Have a great time. Thank you.